good day, good morning. Yeah, my name is Timson. So we're gonna be continuing from where we stopped. Last class, I remember I made mention of divs, divs, div. You understand? But I didn't actually shed more light on it because I don't know why I didn't, anyways. But now I want to quickly shed more light on it. I throw more, give more explanations on these, so that we can have a full knowledge of what it is. So by the time we start getting our hands dirty and be using these properly, you won't be confused as to what it is. So right now, I'm going to be explaining what it is actually. Divs are kind of short form of division. It's a kind of short for division. So it's a term that's commonly used in programming and web development to refer to these elements. Of course, this element div. You understand? So, in case you don't know, it's a block level element that acts as a container or a wrapper for other HTML elements. So it is often used to group related elements together and apply styling or formatting to them. So by using CSS cascading style sheet, developers can target um, the styles, um, can target and style divs. You understand, div element. So to achieve the desired layout and design of a web page, you know, let me show you an example of how to use it. You understand? We have something like this, and we can have something like say H1. Say, let me call it. Okay, this is a head tag. This is a okay. This is a heading. Let me say this is a heading. H1. Say we have another one. Say paragraph tags. Say this is a paragraph. Let me say this is a paragraph e tag. You understand? Then of course it's not a self-closing tag, so we have to close the tag div. You understand? So this is how typically you can use it. So in this example, you will see that um, the div element acts as the kind of container for adding H1. You understand? And the paragraph P element. You understand? So the content within the div can be styled or manipulated as a group using CSS or JavaScript. You understand? So using div element allows developers to organize, like I said before, organize and structure the content of a web page, making it easier to apply consistent styling and layout across different sections of the web page. You understand? So the div element in HTML can also have various attributes that provide additional information or functionalities. Some commonly used attributes for div element include, say, class. You understand? So what are classes? Or what is a class? A class specifies a class is something or an attribute that specifies one or more class names for the div element. Classes are used to group elements together and apply styles or behaviors to them. So multiple classes can be, say, specified by separating them with spaces. Example, we can have something like this. Can have something like, say, uh class equals uh let me say container main container main. For example, anything can be the value to your class. You can name your class anything. So we can have something like that. Then another attribute that we can talk of, that can be used in within the div element, is ID. ID defines a kind of unique identifier for the div. You understand? For the div. So IDs are used to uniquely identify elements within a document, and they can be targeted with CSS or JavaScript. For example, you can have something like, say, let me uh, remove this. For example, you can have something like, say, ID equals header. What you use is up to you, anyways. But just know that this is constant. You understand? This can be anything. And of course, look at the way I wrapped it. Look at the way the syntax, the way I've just written it. So just follow the same concept. It can be anything you like. but always try to follow convention, and that makes you a good programmer. So another one is style. What style does is to allow it allows inline CSS styling to be applied directly to the div element. Styles are specified using, say, some kind of CSS property value pairs. You understand? For example, we can say we have let me just give a typical example of what we can how we can do that. We can say style we can say style equals equals say color. Then the color can have what? Blue, and of course end it with semicolon. So we can have something like that, and we can, even within it, we can still have, give it a space. We can have something like, say, background color. We can say, let me give it yellow, for example, end it with a semicolon. So it's just how it's been done, just to give a kind of inline CSS styling. Though we are not in CSS, but I'm just trying to. I'm not supposed to be mentioning CSS now. I know you are eager to just get to CSS, but I'm just trying to, explain what style attribute is. You understand? So another one we have is data. This attribute allows you to store custom data attribute on the div element, and it can be used to store additional information that is not visible to users but can be accessed programmatically within JavaScript. So example is, say, we can have something like this. Example is, say, we can have something like this. Say div data. We can have, say, name equals, say, we can have John, or let me put my name. You can have team, anything you feel. So just make sure you have to remember it when you're trying to target it. So we have data. We can say data. Let me say age equals, say, 29, for example. You understand? So that is that on data. Then we have another one, title. Title it provides a kind of tooltip, you understand, or additional information about the div element. So when user over it, the tooltip text is typically displayed by the browser as a kind of a small pop-up. You understand? For example, um, you can say something like this. You can say something like, say title. You can say something like title equals, say this is a tooltip. This is what this is a tooltip. This is what a tooltip. Understand? So for example, so that is that about attribute. So these are just a few examples, though it's not all the about it. I've not written everything about the attributes. We can't exhaust that. So these are just few examples of the attribute that can be used with div elements. You understand? So HTML provides a wide range of attributes like that can be used to enhance the functionalities and appearances of div. You understand? So it depends on the specific requirement of your web development project. That you understand. So you can't just start using uh, uh, I can't just start giving out attribute offer. Do you understand? So by the time we start working in project properly, we'll be having more attributes. They are gonna be coming out, coming. We are going to be using them, practically in the later projects. So another one that I didn't talk of is spans. Spans is similar to div. That and just it's similar to div, and they are both HTML elements used for grouping and applying styles to specific portions of a text or inline element within a document. So why div elements are block level and used to group larger sections of content. Spans elements are inline level and are used for smaller or more specific portions of the content. Div elements are block level elements, and span, SPAN, element I what inline level element, and I use for smaller and more specific portion of the content. For example, this is how to use span. Let me say, let me comment this out. Uh, let me comment this out. Let's say we have a p tag. Let me say we have a p tag. Let me uncomment it because most of you start asking why is your own not showing percentage sign and stuff. Because I've had several series of questions that um, okay, ignore that. Let that not waste our time. So let's say we have a kind of a p tag. Let's say we have let's say we have p tag, and I say this is sorry, this is span. This is span. I have to put some attribute. Let's say style. Style equals say we can say color. We can say span equals color. We can say blue. I can say okay. I can say sorry. I have to end it with a semicolon. You can say blue because it's a blue span. Should understand. Sorry. Test. So this is a what? A blue text. That is just it. So we like I said from the definition of span, I said span and inline level what inline level element, and are used for smaller or more specific portion of the content. They are typically used to style some specific portion of the text or inline element within a document, and which we just did here. We're trying to style this text here blue. You understand? So this is what span, style, color, blue, blah blah text. You understand? So that's what it does in practical. So from this example, you see that span element is used to apply a kind of blue. I'm trying to apply a blue color to the word blue within the paragraph. So within this paragraph here, so the span element doesn't add any semantic meaning to the content. It's primarily used for styling or scripting purposes. You understand? Like div, span element can also have attributes such as class. I've explained what classes are, like ID, style, data, and so on. So span elements are commonly used in conjunction with CSS to target specific portions of text or inline elements for styling or interactive effect. They are often utilized when applying styles to the individual words or phrases. You understand? So uh, or phrases, then highlighting specific part of a sentence or adding interactive functionalities to what inline element. So that is that about span. And we're gonna be after this thing now. Next lesson after this section. Now, our next sections we're gonna be on. We're gonna be discussing. I think that will be the last part of um that should be the last part of our HTML section. So we're gonna be doing uh, forms and inputs. Then we're still gonna be doing file part. I think after the file part, we are moving towards CSS. Like I said, this week is gonna be CSS. So we are moving towards CSS after this lesson. So we're gonna be dealing with inputs and file part. So in our next class, thank you for watching and please don't skip any of your lessons. You understand? So our next lecture will now be on forms, that is form elements and attributes. Then we'll move towards 5 parts. So it's gonna be all in one video aside from this. So thank you very much for your time, and God bless.